Is Amazon Flex worth it for part-time drivers? Now, in my opinion, there's a lot of pros when it comes to Amazon Flex. I think the pay in a lot of areas, especially like the big cities like New York City, or even places like LA, places like Chicago even, they have great pay. And there are places that surge as well with really, really high rates such as Seattle, Middleburg Heights, Ohio. And these are just in ones that I can name off the top of my head. Now, the common thing that I do know about these rates is they have to be early morning, like right now, which is 3:59. But our route started at 3:45. This is a 4-hour route, and this route is for $162. Now, the only way I would get this pay is by doing the routes in the early morning. I don't want you guys to think I'm gonna sign up for Amazon, I have time after 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm gonna be able to get a $150 plus route. It's not as easy as that, and I don't wanna push that on to anybody. And I think that for people that are trying to work around their 9 to 5, it gets difficult because you have to do the early morning route in order to make it worth it, in my opinion. We are currently 20 minutes out from our first stop, 17 miles out. As I said, for today we have a 4-hour route. This route is 35 stops, 39 packages. All right, we have made it to our first stop. It is 4:22. How consistently are you looking to do Amazon Flex? The consistency is key in any type of gig work, because if you have one day where you could do 12 hours that day, you can make up a good amount of money in that day as long as you use your time very, very cautiously. If you have an off day of the week where you could do that really early morning route, then that's what I would urge you to do, because those are the important routes to hit. I know many people are shooting to make the most money possible in the shortest amount of time, and that's where I think you're gonna get the most money. For the amount of work that you do though, that's depending. Because remember, we don't know where we're going while we're doing Amazon Flex. We don't even know where we're gonna be sent to, how many miles, how many packages, nothing. Do you mind driving at night? Because the times that I said, which is the early morning or the late afternoon, most of the times of the year, it's dark outside. And it is harder to deliver when it comes to anything at night. Now, why the nighttime is better in my opinion, and I'm hoping to convince you. There's no traffic like at this hour at 4:26 in the morning, and towards the end of the night, let's say 8 o'clock at night, there's no traffic either. Now, I don't want anybody to discourage themselves from driving at night, because you will get used to it, especially with the Amazon map and the GPS that Amazon provides. It's very, very good, and the pin system actually shows which house you're supposed to be going to. All right, we are currently at stop 11. It is 4:53. Now, with route availability, you're going to have a lot of people that want to do routes between the hours that I'm saying, from the morning and from the afternoon. So let's say noon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 10 a.m., any of those types of times. Now, those routes can be worth it. Why? Because I think those are the routes a lot of times people get let go, meaning they don't get a route and they just get paid the full amount. Now, you do have to wait 30 minutes after your route start time. So if your start time was 12 o'clock, you have to wait till like 12:27 and then you'll get let go. I think because of those routes not being as popular with a lot of routes and a lot of people, I think it is more likely for you to get a route, but I think there's times where you're probably not gonna get a route. More than likely at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, or 7:30 in the afternoon, you're gonna get routes at those afternoon and early morning times because they need drivers. Now, the problem with these middle, I'm gonna call them middle routes, right? Because we're saying middle of the day between the really good times, is that they're not going to surge as high as the other times of day. Sometimes you might get lucky and get a random surge, which is really nice. Maybe the weather is bad too. Always keep that in mind as well, because sometimes if the weather is really bad, then the pricing will go up a lot. So while those middle of the day routes could be really nice, especially because you'll be delivering during the day, and with the potential of being let go, you could be let go at any time of day. But in my opinion, these are more dead times, so I don't think they'll need as many drivers throughout these times of days. We are at stop 20, so this is good. I get questions a lot about, oh, but how many stops do you get per route? Or is it good to do the 3-hour routes rather than the 4-hour routes? In my opinion, I have the best time doing from a 4-hour route to a 5-hour. So that means 4, 4.5, or a 5. Those routes are when I feel like I get the best route, in my opinion. And they sound crazy, but it's true. This is going to be stop number 30. There are hidden costs when it comes to these routes, and I want you to always make sure that your expenses are accounted for and you have some room for profit. You have to be very wary because with cars, they have the mechanical problems that you might have and they have maintenance costs that you might have as well. We usually account for maintenance costs, but remember, things just end up happening. If you blow a tire like I did in one of my last videos, if you have no brakes, like I lost my brakes in one of my videos from like a month ago now. So you have to make sure that when you do these routes, you're thinking about those things because they could cost you a lot of money. And all the money that you got from Flex, you'll just be putting it right back into another car or fixing your car. All right, we are at stop 32. It is currently 6:13. This is going to be stop 33. Now that is an awesome thing. They know the door is going to be closed. They have a nice box that says leave the packages there. They probably have someone take them and then put them in the mailroom. We are at stop 35. All right, we have made it to our final stop today. It is currently 6:30. Now, personally, I think Amazon Flex could be a great part-time gig. I just think you have to be conscious about your hours and you want to make as much money as possible. I don't want to say in the littlest amount of time or the shortest amount of time. I think what's important is to pick a time that works for you, try different routes out at different times, see what time is going to be best for you and for consistency. Because remember, the money in the mornings or the early mornings is great. However, if you're going to be exhausted for the rest of the day, especially going to your regular 9-to-5 job or just with your regular life, it's not worth it then. And as always, make sure to keep in mind of your expenses. Your expenses are going to be different than other people's. For today's route recap, we started this route at 3:30 because I was at the station early. I got in there the 15 minutes early. It was supposed to start at 3:45. This route was supposed to be from 3:45 till 7:45. It was for $162 for 4 hours. We are 20 minutes away from home, 14 miles out. It says we're going to get home at about 6:53. We have drove so far 66 miles and we do have 14 miles to get home. That is going to leave us with about 80 to 81 miles. Let me know if you guys thought this route was worth it, and also any comments or tips for anybody that's looking to do Amazon Flex in the comments. I would love to read them myself. To the next route.